Hey everybody, Dale here with another podcast, Page Rage podcast. We'll have that, and today we're with Margreet from the Wetaskiwin Theatre, going to let us know what's happening, what has happened, and we'll just jump right into the questions. But first I'll let Margreet introduce herself, so you can hear it from her own words, and then we'll jump into the questions. Go ahead, Margreet.
Thank you, Dale. My name is Margreet Jansen Van Dorn, and I am the Executive Director for the Wetaskiwin Theatre Society. And of course, the Wetaskiwin Theatre Society is the organization that runs the Manluk Theatre for the Performing Arts.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so let's start. Question. Were you born in Wetaskiwin, and if not, when did you?
No, I was not born in Wetaskiwin. Actually, I came to Wetaskiwin the same year that the Wetaskiwin Theatre Society bought this building, the theater building, which was 2006.
Okay.
And I think that Wetaskiwin is the best kept secret on the two-way. So I really enjoy living in Wetaskiwin.
Beautiful. When did you get involved in the theater, and what is your current role?
I was hired in August of 2019, and it was the first paid position ever. And I was hired as the part-time executive director for the theater. And basically, what my role is I'm responsible for the day-to-day operations of the theater and promotions and everything like that. So I answer to the board. We have a governing board of directors, and yeah, we work together in collaboration with basically everyone who's involved in the theaters. We have a multitude of volunteers that I'm sure we'll be talking about a little bit
Yep.
later.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Would you be able to give us a little history on the theater, the building itself, and where it's located, and so forth?
Definitely. I mean, we are so incredibly proud of this building. So basically, the history of the society. This is also very, very exciting because the Pasquin Theatre Society was incorporated May 22nd of 2002, which means that this year is our 20th anniversary.
Nice.
And so we're already planning a huge gala to celebrate this fact. A really large gala was being held at the 10-year mark, but this is the 20th year mark. So this is very, very exciting. So 2002 is when it was incorporated. At that time, the society did not have a building. It's sort of like you don't have a home. There was theater and plays were being done and held wherever space was available. That was sometimes in the gyms of the schools, churches, the Memorial Center. But the Wetaskiwin Theatre Society did not have a home.
Mhm.
So the founding members had a vision and they got together and were looking for a home. So what they realized, there was a building in town that was um, not quite 100 years old. Actually, no, it was 100 years old when it was bought. And it was slated for demolition. Now, the city owned it. It is the historic power building. Basically, so in 1905, this building provided electricity and power to Wetaskiwin, and but it had set basically vacant, and there were two of the founding members that went to the city to make a presentation to see, hey, can we buy this building? It would have cost $200,000 to demolish the building, and presentation was so successful that the city agreed, and the Wetaskiwin Theatre Society bought this building for $1.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've heard that story from Eldon and Laura many times, and
yeah,
it's always amazing every time I hear it.
exactly. It's just such an incredible story. Now, the building, of course, was never meant to be a theater, and it
Oh,
wasn't. Uh, it was, I mean, it was slated for demolition, so it was a very derelict building, and it took 10 years before the first performance, before it was audience ready. So it was in 2016 when finally the doors were opened to have a show, and it was done in the front room at that, and it was Letters in Wartime,
Hmm.
because the auditorium where I'm sitting that you can see behind me was not here yet, and the
No.
stage and everything too, and I've talked to the founding members to get the history of it, and basically they were telling me that when they started making, the changes in the building, it was like, whoa, what is this? They would break open a floor and another floor appeared, and
Hmm.
I mean, beings were it was a very, very interesting journey. And when the very first show was done in the space where I'm sitting, which is now the auditorium, it was all on one floor, but the posts that were holding up the beams were still in place, and basically the audience had to sort of like look around the post.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
uh, I mean, I guess they could be leaning against the lamppost, but it wasn't a lamppost, so it was
No, it was
not
holding
what.
the roof up. This is what it was doing. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, and talking about the roof too, I mean, there was no insulation in the roof.
Right.
So there were so many things that had to be done, um, and have been done. I mean, when people see what we've done to the inside of the building, those of our supporters, they're just blown away. I mean, the way it looks now is grand. The
Oh, yes.
just so incredibly amazing,
Oh, it's a complete meta transformation from what it was to now. I mean, had you
right?
not been there, you wouldn't know the difference. But I've been
Right?
around the building almost since it's been inception, and it's just incredible the changes that have been done.
Isn't it incredible?
Yep.
And the amount of manpowers, and this is all done by basically by volunteers.
Yep.
It is close to 250,000, like 200,000 plus man hours
Yep.
to get to this point. And again, I mean, what a staggering amount. If that, translate that into even minimum wage, even like what, $10 an hour, which isn't even minimum wage. That's um,
A lot of money.
200, 2 million. That's 2 million,
Yeah,
right?
2.5 million. Yeah,
Yeah,
if my
exactly.
math is right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm just thinking, did I answer the question fully?
Close
Because
enough. Yeah. What I've done is I've inserted a picture of the old electric light building and what it looked like, and then what the building looks like now. So you'll see that on playback. But
yeah,
that,
wonderful.
that's going to be cool. So so what's the location, like the address, the physical address of the theater?
It's we are right beside the Memorial Center. So our address is 5002 53rd Avenue, and we are right beside the Memorial Center, and on the other side is the water power building.
Hmm.
That's where we are located.
Yep. All right, and there's plenty of parking,
Yep.
definitely.
Yeah, there's definitely parking on the street. There's a large parking lot across the street, if like beside the Memorial Center,
Yep.
but also across beside the railroad tracks. There's another large parking spot. So yeah,
Yeah, there's no
plenty.
worries about that. How long did the renovations take? You said you got the building in 2006, so it's taken, or yeah, it's taken what, 15 years? 10,
Well, it
15
was
years?
it was 10 years before it was audience ready, before the
Right.
doors could be
Yeah.
opened. So 10 years of solid, like making the building ready, putting in floors, putting in walls, taking out floors, taking out walls. I mean, you name it, electrical, putting in what is it? What did I say that the roof didn't have insulation?
Installation,
So
yeah.
right, all these types of things. And so then when the doors opened at 2016, we didn't have the auditorium, we didn't have the stadium seating. And so that was put in later because McLeod in Leduc was doing a renovation.
Hmm.
And the seats that we now have, we bought them from them
Right.
so that we could have this amazing stadium seating. There are 153 seats, and there are no bad seats. Well, you know that.
Yep.
I
No,
mean,
there's absolutely.
it's an intimate setting. You always feel like you're close to the
Yeah,
to
visually
the
and audibly, there's no real bad seat in the house. Doesn't matter
none
where
at
you
all,
sit.
right? And
Yeah.
the acoustics are amazing
Yeah.
for a building that was never meant to be a theater. That is phenomenal. We hear from, I mean, you know it yourself as a musician, but from visiting musicians, they are all wowed, like how amazing the acoustics are. So the renovations are basically they're ongoing, and with the pandemic in 2020 when we were forced to close our doors and everything like that, hey, theater people are possibility thinkers, and it was like, okay, just because we had to close the doors, right,
Yeah.
doesn't mean that we're going to now all go home and leave the theater and just let it collect dust. No, it was the perfect opportunity to do some other major renovations. The front room was tackled. There was a new floor put in. The walls were painted. We had new blinds put in and a new ceiling because, well, you probably remember this.
Hmm. Yeah.
The ceiling was leaking. So the roof has been repaired, and during a melting season, or if it rained really hard, it became very dramatic in the front room
Yes,
because
it did. Yeah.
remember those buckets in the front
Yeah.
room?
Yeah.
And we decided, yeah, we're going to the next level, and the buckets have to go, which meant, hey, some repairs are done. And so
Yeah.
that was the start.
Yeah.
And then we always had one beautiful dressing room, but it was used mostly for the females, which
Hmm.
meant that if um, you weren't in that dressing room, then find a space wherever. So we decided we needed another one, and so there's another dressing room, and we added another green room, another the floor was replaced. Too much to name, actually, what we
Yeah.
were doing.
There was a ton of work done there. Ton
Yeah,
of work. Yeah.
exactly.
So, are there any future plans to expand on the building, or will it just stay in its original state as it is now, or anything
Well,
upcoming?
I'm glad you asked that because we have like the board did last year in 20 no, it was in 2021, yeah, because we're already in 2022. There was a planning session held for the not only the next 5 years but also future projections, and there are definitely the plan is to expand,
Nice.
to to just add basically right now our front room can only hold about 50 people, and our auditorium holds like 150, and which means that we cannot really do dinner theater because that meant that, hey, only a third of our audience can eat, and the rest, okay, please wait outside in your car
Yeah.
because right, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dinner
Not-
theater always such a wonderful way to have an evening out, and you can come have a wonderful meal and then come see a wonderful show, and we are not at this point able to do that to the full extent. So that's all part of our future plans to expand. Will we keep this original building and build around it? Now that is what is, like the discussion. How are we going to do it? That hasn't yet gelled, but it's definitely it's an ongoing discussion.
right. That's good. Good news, especially in these COVID times.
Yeah,
Um, so we know it's never cheap to renovate. That's taken thousands and thousands of dollars, not to mention the man hours put into it, volunteer times. How many volunteers have you had? Do you know off the top of your head, or just And you said there's what, 250,000 hours put in? That's
Yeah,
incredible.
at least. So we have like currently, I mean, we have a core group of 30, 40 volunteers, and that includes the board, that includes um, actually, well, it includes the board of the waterworks players as well, because of course that's all volunteer hours too. But then we have an even larger group of people who, whenever we need more volunteers, step up
Hmm.
and may not be able to volunteer quite as much as that core group that we have, but definitely that doubles the number, so then it gets even closer to 100. But there's this amazing core group, and that's an incredible number.
That is an incredible number. So what we have is, what you're saying is, we have a really good community that stands behind the theater.
Wetaskiwin is amazing. Wetaskiwin is amazing in the support that it gives to the theater also, and to the arts, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Because of course, we are performing arts, so we are an art form. It's the creative process, and to have arts in a community gives such riches. It's an incredible thing to have.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, 100%. Community. If it wasn't for the community, there would be no theater, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because uh, I've only been, I mean, I'm the paid employee since 2019, but the theater has been around so much longer. I feel like I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, really. Yeah,
No, I understand what you mean. Absolutely.
yeah.
Who are the current committee members?
So our current board, it's such an incredible board because it shows what can happen when you have a group of committed people who have a vision and work together with respect and vision. So basically, our president today is George Krunick. Our past president is Catlin Hawley. Our vice president is Ken Mastel, and our secretary is Paula Bray. Our treasurer is Nancy Schlag, and we have three other wonderful board members. They are Jessica Buffalo, Gary Flenda, and Jonathan Sims.
Nice, very nice. I see you have a couple of them on there that are actually performers of the theater as well. So,
Yeah, and also Ken Mastel was a founding member,
yeah,
and they
and
yeah,
past
and
president too, if I recall right.
past president as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So with the theater, we're calling it a theater, but that covers a lot of different genres, because it's not just plays; it's also you've had some pretty high-ranking names playing in the theater. Would you care to go through what that brings to the theater as well?
You mean the names, or just
Just
exact?
just just the fact that there's a big name act in town, it's just great to say that, hey, they played here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what that does is it shows people that, hey, just because we are a small theater doesn't mean we are small talent. And just because we have a small stage, even though, I mean, it's a nice stage, it's a good sized stage, it doesn't mean that small talents, and that the bigger names, as they come to our stage, they they just they're blown away. They say, "What a wonderful place! Oh, I love being here." They are just gushing about this. But what it does is it broadens our exposure, because there are still so many people, even right here with Asquin, who do not know that we have a theater for the performing arts. And like what you were saying too, performing arts isn't just plays. Performing arts is anything that takes place on the stage. So that could be basically a concert, and we've had concerts, wonderful concerts. It's dance shows. We're hoping to get magicians, anything that is performing arts.
Yeah, because you've had the names such as Gary Felgard, Dwayne Steele, Jay Semco performed there with Punch Drunk Cafe, Ayla Lukey. This is just to name a handful off the top, and it's just been some really, really good talent.
And
Um,
even Paul Green,
yeah,
he right, one day during an open mic, who shows up? Like Paul Green, of course, who is like a son of Wetaskiwin, but
yep,
he's Hollywood. He, like has been a very successful, well-known actor, and it's great when they basically, it's almost like they come back, they come home because really they belong to Wetaskiwin.
yep, absolutely.
Uh,
So not only that, but you have monthly open mic nights. So if you're any kind of a talent, whether you play an instrument or you sing or you dance or you tell jokes or you're a magician, it's an open mic, and that's what exactly what it means. Whatever you want to do, come up on stage, just keep it family friendly, and come show your stuff. This is how a lot of people get recognized, or discovered. And
I'm
being
glad.
and being a part of that myself, it's been a big part of my life while the entire time I've lived in Wetaskiwin, because I very rarely ever miss an open mic.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm always there, and I mean, I'm there to show my support. I'm also there to play because I love to play, right? So,
Exactly, exactly. I'm glad you brought up the open mic, Dale, because our open mic format has changed this
oh,
year.
yeah,
As you were saying, we had a monthly open mic, and our last monthly one was in December. At this point, it doesn't mean that it has stopped completely, but we have another program that is almost an extension of the open mic. And basically, what we're doing with open mic is that if there is a host band or a host artist who would like to do an open mic, that they can contact us. The regular open mics for now have stopped, but we have a new program that we're working on. It's called Live and Local. And so basically, what that is, I mean, we have such incredible local talent. And these are musicians and performing arts and everything like that. And so what we're sending out the call, contact us, and then there is an auditioning type uh, progress that they would have to be vetted by the committee, but it will be paid tickets and they will be on the stage rather than in the front room. As you know, the open mic usually takes place in the front room, it's not on the stage. We did a few of them on the stage during the pandemic so that we could ensure distance for people. But yeah, that's what's happening, and we're just trying different things to again showcase all the talent that is here. And if there is like a musician that they or a band and they say, well, we don't have enough material to fill a show, then what we're thinking is we can combine them with other bands or other musicians to offer an evening of wonderful music to Wetaskiwin and surroundings, and it's called Live and Local. And basically, we're asking for any artists who are within 100-kilometer radius.
nice. And there's a lot of, like you said, a lot of hidden talent in Wetaskiwin itself. But that being said, there's been other great musicians come from the outlying area, Calgary. No, it's a lot of fun, and I encourage music to everybody. Music is the one language I think that everybody in the world understands.
It's so true. It's so true. Yeah, music. Yeah, what can we say about music?
Music's
Because
great.
it's felt by the heart, by the by the emotions, by everything. It can make you laugh, it can make you smile, it can make you weep. It just, yeah, and dance, of course.
Of
Make
course.
right. Ah, well,
Me and my two left feet. Yeah.
doesn't matter,
But
right?
right. So, can you tell us about any events that are coming up quickly here?
Yeah. So basically, as you know, our in-home um, theater troupe is the Waterworks Players. And so I'll start with what's coming up for the Waterworks Players. basically in March, they are going to do a collection of one act plays, and there are 6 shows for that. And it's March 11, 12, 13, 18, 19, and 20th. And then in April, there is going to be a production called Greece is the Word, and that will take place April 23rd, 24th, 25th. It's a youth production, but it's a musical. It's a parody on the well-known musical Grease, but it takes place in ancient Greece. Then we have 9 to 5, which has been a long time coming. Originally, it was planned for 2020, but of course, the pandemic changed all of that. And in 2021, it couldn't happen because, yes, we were able to open the doors a little bit, but no singing was allowed. And of course, it's a musical. And then it was planned to be shown this year in March. Again, that couldn't happen, but it is scheduled finally. We're really excited for May 6th, 7th, 8th, and 13th, 14th, and 15th. Then in September, Dearly Departed will happen, and we have another upcoming uh, show that's called Garbo the Spy, and that will happen in November. Now, that's the Waterworks player. We also have April 2nd, we have a Kiss tribute show, rock concert coming up. It's Icons. They've been performing in casinos and for at least 15 years, amazing talent. They're coming April 2nd. Then we have Phoenix Production, which is a youth program out of Camrose. They're going to do Tuck Everlasting in May, May 27th, 28th, and 29th. And yeah, so we've got a lot of really diverse shows coming up. That's just off the top of my head. I'm not
Yeah, and I
sure.
know there's probably a lot more coming up that you're
Yeah,
not needing to talk about right at this time because given COVID, anything can happen, right? So
exactly. We just keep, moving forward, hoping for the best. And we've had to change shows. We've had to
oh,
call
yeah.
people even better at being flexible. I mean, theater people are flexible, but we are getting really flexible.
And the great thing I found too about you guys at the theater is, if a show does get canceled or postponed or whatever, you will contact the people that have already purchased tickets. But I want to throw a shout out to the public as well for first of all supporting it. But a lot of them they will say, well, can I just hang on to that ticket until the next show instead of saying, well, give me my money back and then I'll buy a ticket again at the next show. So that's another service that you have offered in the past as well, which a lot
Yeah,
of venues won't do that.
no, exactly. People, what you're saying too about when we had to cancel or postpone shows, people were so amazing. I mean, there were people who donated their ticket to the theater. There were people that just said, "I'll hang on to my ticket." There was actually very few that took us up on the offer to get a refund.
Yep. I think I've had maybe a total of 3 people come back here because I'm a ticket vendor for the theater as well. But I think maybe 3. It might have been only 2 that have come back and said, "Well, can I get my money back?"
Yeah, yeah,
Otherwise, they either come to you or not at all. Incredible.
yeah,
So thank you to the public. You guys are awesome.
definitely. Our supporters, our audience members, again, it's just I don't know if it's the building that attracts, like these incredible people. I mean, we have incredible volunteers. We have an incredible audience. We have incredible artists. It's just that what is taking place in this power building is powerful.
The power of the building. No pun intended.
Building. Remember, it's more than we are just
It's
more
more
than
than, yeah, for sure.
we are more than everything. Yeah.
So I know you guys also rent out parts of the building. So
Yeah,
could
yeah.
you quickly talk about some of those?
For sure, for sure. Yeah. Actually, we have two weddings that are going to take place in the theater this year. For the first, we were supposed to have a wedding last year, but because of COVID, that that couple, they did get married, thankfully, but they couldn't come on the stage and everything like that. So people can rent the theater for all sorts of things. We have the front room is perfect for meetings because we have a projector and computers can be hooked up, but we also have a projector wall. So the front room holds 40 to 50 people and can be, rented for meetings. And of course, like theater troops rent our space to use the stage to do performances and everything like that. But it's more than like what we just said too, that it can be used for, hey, whatever people think that they could use a space for, do it at the theater. Have your birthday party at the theater. Have an anniversary at the theater, or have get married on the stage.
Yeah, and I believe a couple of the schools have actually used it too.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. We have basically the dance studio, Studio S. They do their, recitals on the stage, and of course, yes, definitely the schools too. That Phoenix, not just Phoenix Productions, even that's a theater program. So their final show is being done on our stage. But the local schools have used the local high schools. They've done productions. We've had big bands come here. So it's definitely, of course, artists, all sorts of artists can use the theater. We now have a large screen on the stage, so we are showing documentaries, films, all sorts of things. There's diversity is what we want to use the theater for, and it's already being utilized by a lot of different organizations.
Yeah,
Oh,
go ahead.
we have Nintendo tournament that was taking place in the front room. It was just so much fun. Uh, these people that were playing the games, it was very entertaining for the volunteers who were here and that was myself too, to see the enthusiasm. And again, to see the theater being used for something that who knew? Who would think about that?
Well, where it started out and where it is now is both ends of the spectrum. It's incredible. So I encourage anybody that's watching the area or close to the area, check out the website, check out their Facebook page, and come down to the theater. Check it out. You'd be amazed at what's being done here. I'm truly impressed, and I'm proud to say I was part of a lot of it, and not all of it. I'm proud to every time I walk in there, I go, yeah, this is cool. I like this.
To know, hey, you have been and are part of something great,
Yeah.
something in the old power building. I told that originally this building gave electricity and light. Now I'd like to think we offer enlightenment. We offer, just it's not just entertainment. It's more than it's an evening, a wonderful evening out. It is, yeah, just an incredible experience. We're very proud.
Yeah, because I was there when there was just cement floors. There wasn't the theater seating. You drag out the tables and the metal chairs. All
Well,
part of that history. You can say, yeah, I was there.
yeah, you were there when.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I've had the honor of being, if not the first, one of the first bands to grace the stage when it was first built. That was a
Yeah.
lot of fun. We've done. I've played there about 5 times now with 2 different bands. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we can't wait to have you back on stage.
One day we'll make it happen for sure.
Well,
So is there?
hopefully,
Go ahead.
I said hopefully sooner than later.
You bet, absolutely. So is there anything else you feel you'd like to discuss that we haven't covered here, or
I think we've
the
just
floor is yours right now? Say what you want to
put me on the spot.
say. No pressure.
Again, I would like to say, give a shout out to everybody and anybody who has, over the years, participated in making this such a great place. And you know, like a thank you to our audience, to our volunteers, to our artists, and an invitation, just like what you're saying too, is come check us out. And to all the people who already know, hey, we can't wait to open the doors again for the next show.
All right, excellent. So
Okay.
let's just call it an end to that, and this will be also available on your YouTube channel, on my YouTube channel. And once they go to the theater's YouTube channel, they can see the different. There's 5 separate videos showing and displaying the different sections of the theater itself. So I encourage you to look at that as well. So, and you can visually see more of the theater and the people behind the. So Margreet, thank you very much for the interview, and we will definitely see you soon.
Sure. Thank you, Dale, for making this possible.
Absolutely, I love doing this. This is fun.
For sure. Alrighty. Bye for now.
Take care.
See you at the show.